welcome to week 8 here in Geoguessr, and we, Calamity, are in a country map again, Italy, which I know is not exactly your favorite one, is it?
No, it is absolutely not. And I mean, I was playing against someone who doesn't record this week, so unfortunately we can't see that. But I'll share my thoughts about it enough over the course of all the match casts we have to do on it.
Yeah, and we've got a great matchup starting out here in Division 4 between Nakiroh and Deep-Thot. Given that Division 4 only has 9 weeks, this is the penultimate week, and both of these players, as we can see as we take a look at their stats, are in the promotion fight, Calamity.
Yeah, they're very close together, at least in the table and in aces. For some reason, Deep-Thot's average points are a lot lower, by over 2,000 points, which at this point in the season, after 7 weeks, is quite a lot. But yeah, as I said, the aces are the same, position is very close together, so either he just got lucky with his matchups, or Nakiroh dominated the ones he won and then lost the ones he lost closely. But yeah, for both of them, this is a very important game because, as you said, the penultimate week, if Nakiroh wins this, he'll be out of reach from Deep-Thot. And this is about third and fourth place in the table, and third gets to go into the promotion playoff, and fourth doesn't. So he'll really want that win, yeah.
Yeah, the Deep-Thot has had a couple very bad weeks, including week 5, where he only got about 12,000, 13,000 points, something like that. So that has dragged his average down a bit. They are very close in the tables, but of course, as you can see in their record, very different paths. Nakiroh only 2 losses, but Deep-Thot unfortunately has got 2 draws, one against me. So that has come into play there. So yeah, let's take a little bit closer look at the map for them. It is Italy, over 150,000 locations. So while you can definitely practice the country, the map shouldn't give you too many repeats. It's been played over 2,000 times, which is a pretty good number for just a country map. There's plenty of them on the old Geoguessr, so plenty to choose from. Yeah, basically a polygon map of Italy, which can always be fun because you got to make sure you don't get those weird locations, Calamity, but I think Schmingo does a pretty good job of picking those out for us.
Yeah, Italy actually doesn't have that many bad locations in it anyway. At least the map doesn't. So I don't know what the map maker did with his polygons, but somehow they worked out very well. I don't really think I've had more than 1 or 2 bad locations in all of my practice runs.
Okay. Yeah, well, anybody you favor here in Italy? Not the most generous of countries in terms of information.
I think with the average points so far, if you look at that, which I think is the most relevant for Italy, because I don't think the scores will necessarily be that high. So someone who's just consistently good at getting the right area, at least, has to have a bit of an advantage in Nakiroh here. He's also, as he's from France, he's a bit closer than Deep-Thot from Sweden. Maybe an advantage. I don't know, neighboring countries, technically, Italy and France, even though they only share a very short border. But maybe he sometimes goes on holiday to Italy. Who knows? But yeah, I favor Nakiroh slightly.
Yeah, who knows? And we'll definitely see if we can't find out if he's got any bit of an edge being a neighbor to the country as we jump into round number 1 here. And oh, this definitely looks like Italy. Middle of nowhere, dry farmland with an unpainted road. But I mean, it can give you some information. Not every part of Italy is like that, but I think the tricky thing about Italy, Calamity, is while the regions are kind of distinct, there are regions like this in every part of Italy.
Yeah.
So it could be very far north, it could be south. So
and
might even be able to be on the islands.
So. Sometimes the regions themselves are pretty big. Like you could say, like for example, Sicily or Sardinia, they're relatively distinct, but even then they're relatively big in and of itself. And I mean, I think Radox told me no, it was the Basement who told me it's easy to distinguish the two of them, but I still can't. They both just look pretty dry and kind of like this to me.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yes.
generally in Italy, you will find information wherever you are. If it's useful information is a different question.
Yeah, exactly. Often, almost like France, some very small village and road name numbers or
Yeah.
names, which can be almost impossible to find if you're not already looking in the right, general area. We'll see what they can do with this one here. Again, they've just been traveling for a while, under 3 minutes to go still, and nothing.
Yeah, I
So,
don't think either of them has found a sign with anything written on it yet.
and they both have entered sort of a village here. Oh, there we go. A provincia name as well
Yeah.
as SP, but it's a provincial
No.
road, so it's pretty small.
Yep. But the province
But
itself is very good information.
mm-hmm,
And it seems like
that'll be
Deep-Thot just
useful.
missed it because, yeah, they're in the same place now.
Yeah, he zipped right past, but he will get some sort of a sign, but not helpful would be. There is Ginosta, that might be useful to him. But Italy can be a little tricky with the signs, Calamity.
Yeah, it's hard. There's a lot of countries like that, but it's hard to tell how big any of those cities or towns are. Um, in this case, the good thing is you had that little circle in black and white, so that tells you Ginoza is the city you're entering. So at least that's slightly helpful. But could be population of 2,000, could be a population of 30,000. The sign, or 2 million, the sign wouldn't look any different.
Yeah. Looks like Nakiroh has narrowed down at least the roundabout that they are in. Some parts of the roundabout have signs, like two different coverages overlapping there. Yeah, with Deep-Thot also in that roundabout, he'll have plenty of information to try to use to pinpoint, and he's right above the city, in the general area at least, that Nakiroh is looking at, but he's yet to drop a pin down with about a minute left to go.
Yeah, I didn't actually see what exactly Deep-Thot saw that gave it away for him, that the area he's in. Um,
Just lots of different city names in different directions. I think that's what he's been using to kind of triangulate his location. That's about all I saw. Now Nakiro working backward to try to figure out where he exactly spawned. Get as many points as possible. It's gonna be a bit tricky. They traveled for over 2 minutes
mm,
before they got anywhere, but they traveled in the same direction, so they kind of know it's a kind of north-south road, and so just under 30 seconds, Nakiro putting all his Italian grapes in a basket here, hoping that this road is in fact it. And Deep-Thot is zoomed way out, still in the general area, but
yeah,
not at all as confident as Nakiroh is, as time is going to expire here in just a few seconds. Nakiroh will unfortunately pick the wrong road, but not bad using that compass. 4,833 for him, and 3,715 for Deep-Thot. He was across the bay from the actual location. Those city names, again, giving him a general location, but not able to pinpoint too much off of that, Calamity.
yeah, it seems like it. As I said before, I don't know which of those city names he found, which one of these he knew. So I can't really tell, well, where exactly he was. He was looking based on the cities, because he did seem to be very unsure about which side of the bay he was on, and sort of where exactly to look. But sort of 1,000 points, 1,100 points behind in Italy is not the end of the world after round one.
Definitely. There can be a lot worse or much better locations that you might be able to get and your opponent won't. So as we jump into round number 2 here, we at least get an urban location, which is nice. And there should be plenty of signs for a little town that we might be in. And Nakiro seems right away to know that we are on the island. I always forget the names of these. I get them confused all the
Sardinia.
time. Yeah, Sicily and Sardinia and Corsica, and
Yeah.
gotta remember which one. Well, Sicily is the easy one, but it's the other two that I often get backwards.
Yeah, Nakiroh saw an area code. Quite a few actually at this point. 781. And Deep-Thot is looking at the city/village name.
Yes, I don't know if he knows that or not, but he did spend an awful long time looking at it, so he might. It is in fact the village name. We're right on the coast, so that should definitely be helpful. It means you can exclude all those inland locations. Didn't go out. I didn't go out here. It's an
No,
interesting
I didn't either.
place to go. Um, this was a bit of a tricky round for me. There's some more city name information there for Nakiroh, if he can recognize it. And sure enough, he's found the village. He'll zoom in and try to start pinpointing with 3 minutes left. Deep-Thot back to the start, seeing that sign as well. We'll finally zoom in to the right part. He's definitely familiar with this area, just needs to know exactly where to look. A little bit further north and he'll get it.
Probably
can
along
actually see it.
along the coast would be a good idea, and probably along a northern coast.
Yeah.
And that's a better place to look. It's not the right city, but it fits more.
Closer. Yeah. Now, what's really interesting here is these houses actually have the city name on the little number tiles, which was interesting. I didn't realize that until after I saw the city name on something else, and then realized it was also on those tiles. But these little roads are tricky. They managed to fool me. Let's see if they can pull the wool over Nakiroh's eyes, or if he's going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, they're not prominently placed on the buildings to tell you which road you're on.
No, and they're curvy and they do some weird tricks. And Deep-Thot is zoomed in way too far on the wrong part of the island, so we'll see if he will zoom out and try to find that location with a minute and a half to go. I'm not sure if you can. There we go. He's got it. He won't fall too much further behind Nakiroh, but he won't be able to pick up more than a few points here, given that they're both in the same village. So the tricky thing here for Nakiroh and Deep-Thot is this road kind of touches another road that runs parallel to it at several points. And if you start looking at the wrong intersection, you might be a little bit off. Which appears to be what Nakiroh is, but he's still got a whole another minute. He realizes where these restaurants are. That should help him adjust.
Yeah, his position doesn't look quite right on the map.
Yeah, and then he's looking where I was looking, I believe, and you're gonna see he might be a little bit off.
I'd assume he's further south a
also
bit.
doing the same
like
thing.
The right location is further south a bit, just judging by what I've seen.
It is. There are the restaurants.
Yeah.
And there's that small little side road that we actually spawn on.
Yeah, that intersection fits as well.
There we go. But neither of them quite able to get it.
Went right past it.
I think Deep-Thot did get it, but didn't get the right place on the road at the last second. Not bad, but again, being in the same village, he's only going to pick up 3 points on Nakiroh there. 4,999 for him. Probably missing out on the ace by 2 meters. And Nakiroh, 9,996.
Yeah, and I think here we've seen a bit of why, despite Nakiroh's average points being so much better, they're equal in aces. Because I think Nakiroh had about 2 minutes trying to pinpoint the road. And Deep-Thot spent about slightly under a minute, I think, and got closer. So, yeah, maybe that's the one thing Nakiroh should look at to improve.
Yeah, you can kind of see it on Deep-Thot's map because he's zoomed out far enough. If you can see my mouse, I don't know if you can actually see my mouse on the screen. But the road that they're on kind of makes like a B with the Via Roma, and it has the same name, but it kind of meets that road at 3 different points. And so it's like, which little loop are we on? And I got a little bit confused and put us on the wrong loop, but they both do not get that confused. I think it might have helped that they started further north. I found the road way south and was working my way up and trying to figure out why it didn't look right when time ran out. So, but not too bad from either of them there. As we will move on to round number 3 here. If I manage to change over the videos, there we go. Into round number 3, and another small little Italian village.
A lot greener than anything we've seen so far.
Yeah. Nice. Might be it's just a seasonal thing in the coverage, but at least it makes for some nice watching, as they're going to spend some time on some small roads again. So won't be a whole lot. Those are some nice signs from Deep-Thot, but again, probably unless they can recognize the... I don't know, are those the province crests or seals, or are they just the small villages? It might be too small.
I'm not sure either. I don't think learning all the crests of all of Italy is gonna be worth your time.
Probably not.
I mean, if you've got the time, sure, go for it.
But Nakiroh seems to know exactly where he is. He's got this down. That one blue sign appeared to give him everything he needed, and he zoomed right in to the area.
Yeah.
And with only about a minute and a half gone, not even a minute and a half gone, he's already looking at 4-9 something. If I'm not mistaken, that should be pretty close. But Deep-Thot is still going to travel, speeding northwards, looking for more information.
Yeah, Italy is a country where you benefit massively from just knowing loads of small towns and small cities.
Maybe some practice coming into effect here for Nakiroh. He will head off on this same northern road if he keeps going that Deep-Thot is traveling on. So they're almost got the same bit of information here, but Nakiroh doing a lot more with it. There's a provincial road number again for Deep-Thot, but pretty small.
Yeah, those provincial roads are not helpful often. Not only do they not tell you which area you're in, but even if you do know the area you're in, a lot of the times they're just not on the map, or they have a different name now, or anything like that.
There we go. Deep-Thot has made it to a very nice roundabout.
Yeah, that's much better information.
Yeah, this will definitely be helpful. Plenty of cities in lots of different directions, and some of them, Brescia in particular, will be very easy to find.
Yeah, Brescia and Mantova are both relatively big cities.
Yeah, if he knows where to look there. Nope, maybe not yet. Eventually he'll still spot them. Dead center on his map there. He's still got a minute and a half. He'll get there.
Yeah.
But again,
maybe not.
Looking for looking for those exact street names that he might be at the starting location. Work his way backward. He seems pretty confident he's got the right road at least. And Deep-Thot pulls open his map to the right spot and then heads south.
Yeah, probably a case of something you often have in Italy, where you're like, I know that city. Where was it?
Yeah, where is it? North or south?
I mean, Brescia's pretty...
There we go.
There we go. Pretty big on the
right area with just under a minute to go. He's at least in the right ballpark. But again, Nakiroh's not going to leave him any room. Pretty confident in the road he's on, and sure enough, he will pick up the ace. So confident he'll guess a little bit early, even.
Yeah, the problem for Deep-Thot here is also that he's got all these city names, and he knows he's somewhere in between them, maybe, but where exactly is difficult to find out.
Yeah, he's actually a bit further now. Well, now he's further east as he moves his pin as I try to talk. You can see those city names just over there. And sure enough, there it will go. And unfortunately, it will highlight. There we go. So 3,988.
I can't tell. You've got it on a bigger screen than me, I think.
I do, but it's not any better for that one. I might have to even pull it up on something else to figure it out. But yeah, dropped quite a few points there, about 1,000 it looks like. While Nakiroh will get an ace, so unfortunately for Deep-Thot, he'll fall even further behind. But yeah, I think even Deep-Thot had the better information on this one, Calamity, but Nakiroh doing a lot more with it.
Yeah, Deep-Thot definitely had the better information for the general area in terms of bigger cities, but apart from that, like at that point where Nakiroh knew one of the cities, the general area information of, Brescia is nearby and stuff like that doesn't help him that much anymore either because he already knows that. So I think Deep-Thot wasn't necessarily getting the better information there, but just like more, how would you say that? More general information. And Nakiroh didn't need that, so he just had more time to pinpoint. And yeah, again, just the advantage of probably having either practiced more or having more general knowledge of Italy.
Yeah, definitely looked like that was useful. So as we get into round number 4, quite a big deficit to come back for Deep-Thot. 12,712 for him after 3 rounds. 14,829 for Nakiroh. And well, there's a city name that should be familiar.
Yep, there's
given that we were pretty close to it in a previous round.
It's 3 city names that should be familiar, but
yep, they are very, very far away.
Yep.
So not the most helpful, but that's nice. Only 7 kilometers is a lot better, and with only about 30-45 seconds gone, they've already got a pretty good clue of where they might be. And Deep-Thot this time is the first to hone in on the location.
How did that happen so quickly? I was looking at Nakiro's screen for like 10 seconds and Deep-Thot went from it's somewhere around the southern end of Italy to this is the place.
Well, I think what happened was, if I was able to watch correctly, Nakiroh started, when he started the region, he started looking northward, but Deep-Thot started to head south, which was the right direction. So I think maybe a bit of luck that when he started scanning the coast, he went in the right direction. And again, we can see that Nakiroh is working in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I think Nakiroh would benefit a bit more from exploring the southern side of the starting location, because you do go along the coast quite a bit there, and it does not seem like he has a good idea of how the coastline looks where he is. So maybe that would help him a bit, instead of just, having to go through every single stretch of road there. Check for the small city.
With 2 minutes gone, Deep-Thot is pretty close to the 5K, while Nakiroh is going to need to really readjust his pin.
Yeah.
But he's got 2 minutes to do it, so not the end of the world quite yet. As it stands, Deep-Thot is looking to make a little bit of a comeback here.
Yeah, Nakiroh is now doing what I suggested. Obviously can't hear me, but yeah, there we go. So now he should have a bit of an idea of how the coastline looks where he is. Yeah, maybe that'll help him out a bit.
There we go, it sure does. And there he'll spot the village. And while it took him a little bit longer, he gets there in the end. So unfortunately for Deep-Thot, not too many points to be made up in this round either. And with only one more round to go, Calamity, it might be just out of reach. But it's Italy. You never know.
Yeah, you really do never know. But at this point, he does need a location that Nakiroh has no idea about the general area even, and he himself needs to find it, which can happen in Italy for sure, but chances are not looking great.
Yeah, you always hope that your opponent goes the opposite direction and you find information and they don't, or something like that. But at least through 4 rounds here, they've all gone the same direction, and all Deep-Thot will miss out on the ace, being another just few meters off here. So 4,999 for him.
Is that the third time he missed out on an ace by 1 point this round?
Well, the second in this game, yeah. So the other two, he was in 3,000 territory, so quite a ways off.
Oh yeah.
Yep, twice he's missed out on an ace by a few meters. Nakiroh will use the last 30 seconds of his timer to make sure he gets it, and he will. Another ace for him, so another point down for Deep-Thot, unfortunately, despite quite good pinpointing and very quickly getting on location.
Yeah, not the easiest to pinpoint. Well, looking at the map here, there does seem to be a house next to the road, next to the right location on Deep-Thot's screen. So I don't know if that was just not clearly visible on the map, or like in game, I mean, or if there were just many houses there and you couldn't quite tell which was the right one.
Yeah, a bit tricky, but mostly academic, because he was still down a couple thousand points, and we've only got one more round to go. And, well, we are in a small little village, so who knows?
Yeah, and I was just checking, it was kind of hidden by bushes, that house. So it was difficult to see.
But, well, they know they're in Italy.
Yep.
Big Italian flags on the house. Yeah. Well, there's a municipality, but I don't think you can even read it. The font is very small.
Yeah, Nakiroh was also looking at a card that had a phone number that started with a 4. It was blurred out from most of it, so I can't say for sure if it was an area code or not.
There we go. Ferrara, only 21 kilometers away, is a very good clue.
It does seem like it was an area code then, because Ferrara is in the 4 area code region.
Yep, and as well as a sign for Verona. And small little villages from there shouldn't be too hard to find. They can start narrowing their search parameters down. And unfortunately for Deep-Thot, plenty of information here for the both of them.
Yeah.
Not going to be enough here, I think, to get 2,000 points.
It would be very surprising if Nakiroh loses more than 2,000 points from this point onwards.
Yeah, unless he makes a sudden last-second adjustment away from the right location, which doesn't appear to be the case. They still got just under 3 minutes to go.
He could misclick. Well, he could zoom all the way out and then misclick while going for guess.
Yeah. It has happened to me, I think, like once or twice, where I zoom in so fast, or try to zoom in as fast as I can, and I click on what I think is the right location, but maybe because of how how Geoguessr is actually recording where my click is, I click further away because of the zoom level. But it usually happens when I'm trying to change my pin at the last second, and that's never the smart thing to do.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever clicked while zooming, so I couldn't tell if your experiences are accurate or if that's just you. But
yeah, I think it had more to do with the fact that I was trying to click within the last second, and then sometimes you're clicking when you still have time, but for some reason the game doesn't think you have time anymore, and so that can also be a factor. So it looks like they both are zooming in to the right village, and it looks like Deep-Thot has the right location, and I believe Nakiroh has at the exact same time zoomed in on this little loop as well.
Yep, looks
now
good.
Just to figure out Yeah, looks like they probably will both pick up an ace here, and sure enough, they will. So that means it's not enough for Deep-Thot to make a comeback. Nakiroh not leaving any room. 24,829 points for him, 22,711 for Deep-Thot. Yeah, Calamity, he only dropped about, 71 points outside of the tie range. So very small margins for Deep-Thot to even get a win here. And unfortunately for him, he won't get that. So he'll drop further down the table in that promotion battle. But Nakiroh pretty much getting a pretty good chance at getting promoted here after that result, Calamity.
Yeah, definitely. Not only dropping further down in the promotion battle, but dropping out of it entirely. As we said at the start, he was 1 point behind Nakiroh, who held that third place spot. So he's now 4 points behind him. And with the way Steal the Snake against Polyboss ended up, he's now 5 points behind third place, and you can't make that much points up even with a perfect score. So Deep-Thot will stay in Division 4 for another season.
Yeah, indeed. And Nakiroh will look to see if he can't secure his promotion chances next week when we travel back to a world map to finish. We'll be on Islands map, which is definitely going to be an interesting location for us in the final week for Division 4 here. Well, thank you all for watching. We will see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.